What is going on, guys? This is DerekJ Speaks, and today we are talking about the WWE Friday Night SmackDown episode from February 21st, 2025, live in New Orleans, Louisiana. And of course, we're not talking about this entire show because it's not worth talking about the entire show. We are here to discuss one big thing, and it was the one big thing that sold this entire show for a full 24 hours when, on a random Thursday night, The Rock announced that he would be appearing live on SmackDown. And over the course of that evening, and then as the entire day of Friday went on, people were theorizing and speculating and reporting and spreading rumors about what The Rock would be coming to SmackDown to do. What was he going to talk about? One of the biggest things that was being discussed is that The Rock would appear on the show to make a huge announcement regarding WrestleMania and New Orleans. Because for the past several weeks, there have been big rumors about the location for WrestleMania 42 being in New Orleans. And when The Rock made his appearance on this show, one of the very first things that he did say is that WrestleMania 42 in 2026 will be coming back to New Orleans. Of course, WrestleMania was hosted in New Orleans 2 times prior to this. Once for WrestleMania 30 back in 2014, and then again for WrestleMania 34 in 2018. And so now they're going to come back. New Orleans is a great city. It's a great host city for WrestleMania. So, and those two, in their own rights, were pretty good WrestleManias. WrestleMania 30 was really great. WrestleMania 34, not as great, but it did have its moments. So now they're coming back next year for WrestleMania. So that's cool. But outside of that, a lot of people were speculating on what The Rock was going to do on this show. And many people, of course, brought up the name Cody Rhodes. And sure enough, The Rock, in his final boss mode here, called out Cody Rhodes and asked him to come out to the ring. And of course, Cody came out. The two of them shared the ring together. They hugged. Rock kissed him on the cheek. And Rock, over the course of this promo, talked about how he and Cody have become really good friends. So after the events of last year, which we all know all about what happened last year with The Rock coming back and the Cody crybabies and Mama Rhodes and the birth of the final boss, all that drama leading up to Cody finishing his story at WrestleMania 40. All of that. And of course, the last time we saw The Rock and Cody Rhodes in the ring together on TV last year was the night after WrestleMania, where Rock told Cody that their story had just begun. Didn't really see them interact ever again. Of course, there was that stinger at the end of the Bad Blood event in October. Outside of that, no real interaction. And then, fast forward to January, earlier this year, on the Raw Netflix premiere, we see The Rock out there heaping praise on Cody Rhodes as a model citizen, as a great champion, a great ambassador for the company. We saw backstage footage of the two of them sharing his Terramana, his alcohol, and yucking it up and all that. So off screen over the last year, following the events of WrestleMania, The Rock and Cody Rhodes apparently have become really good friends. I know that because that's what The Rock said here. And among many of the things The Rock was talking about, he was really harping on that point, that the two of them have become friends, even talked about how their mothers have become really good friends, even showed a picture of Mama Rock and Mama Rhodes taking a selfie together. So cute. But the main gist of The Rock's promo here, because I am not getting in the weeds of his entire promo. I'll get into the reason for that in just a bit. The main gist of what The Rock was here to talk to Cody about is he was stressing the point that Cody is a great champion. Cody has been a great WWE champion for the last year. And now, here and now, The Rock wants Cody to be his champion. He reminded us again how he's on the board for TKO, the parent company that owns WWE. Therefore, The Rock is in a very high position of power over WWE. In fact, he flat out said he basically owns WWE. Of course, he doesn't, but that's kind of the level of power that The Rock has, where he is, in a way, an owner of WWE. So, in effect, he gets what he wants. And here, he is proposing that Cody be his champion. And how Cody is this big star, he's this great champion, he's this great ambassador, but The Rock can take him to a higher level. Talks about their social media following and how Cody has millions of followers, yet The Rock has 500 million. Rock says he's all the way up here on this level, and he wants Cody to be even higher than him. And he is suggesting here to Cody that he wants him to be his champion. He wants to make all of his dreams come true, all of his family's dreams come true, his wife, his daughter, all of that. He wants to look at Cody like a brother, and he wants him to be his champion. He did mention the events of last year. He mentioned how The Rock came back with the goal, with the intention of walking into WrestleMania 40 to face Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. And he laid that out. He even mentioned Triple H and Nick Khan, talking about how that was his plan. And brought up the fact that Cody, who he wanted to step aside so Rock could have his match with Roman, Cody stood up to The Rock, even slapped him in the face, and took his spot back. And he got his moment at WrestleMania. An outcome that, while some people still to this day are not happy about, those die-hard Roman Reigns fans, many, many more people were very satisfied with the outcome of WrestleMania last year. And I will say it just like I did last year. It was the right outcome. It was the right move. It was the right decision. It was the right time to pay off that story. So now, here we are a year later, and we're doing this story here with Cody and The Rock, with Rock wanting Cody to be his champion. And towards the tail end of this, as Rock is basically droning on here, he mentioned to Cody how he doesn't have to give him an answer right now, and that he'll want an answer from him at the Elimination Chamber event coming up in Toronto. So they announced there that not only Cody Rhodes will be at Elimination Chamber, but The Rock himself will be at Elimination Chamber, which is 1 week from tomorrow as of this recording. And Rock ended the promo saying to Cody that he wants that, which Cody thought Rock was pointing at his championship, the WWE Championship, when in actuality, The Rock meant that he wants Cody's soul. The Rock wants Cody's soul. There was also an announcement from The Rock that not from The Rock himself, but WWE announced that there was going to be a press conference after SmackDown, which is currently on as I'm recording this. I looked in a little bit, and The Rock was basically trying to explain, out of character, of course, because kayfabe is completely dead, sometimes has a pulse, but is for the most part dead. But he was basically trying to explain what this whole deal was and how the story came off and how the segment came off with the final boss character and the Cody Rhodes character interacting. And then someone asked The Rock about an ultimate cheat day meal, and I tuned out. Maybe there's some more to it. That honestly, that turned me off of it, so I don't really have much else to say about that. I didn't really take anything more away from this little post-show conference than anything that happened on the show. So as for the promo itself, this was a very odd promo. The Rock, the stuff he was saying, was very odd. Of course, the whole relationship with The Rock and Cody Rhodes, how suddenly they have become friends. Now, he did explain, like, I guess off screen, over the last year, he and Cody have developed a closeness and a kinship and a friendship and all of that. So, okay, fine. To me, I feel like it's best for something like that to play out on television for the people to see, because considering how personal and how brutal and intense and violent of a rivalry the two of them had heading into WrestleMania last year, following the events of all that took place last year, you would think that if there's going to reach a point where the two of them are friendly with each other and are respectful of one another on screen, how you lead up to that should play itself out. So when The Rock came out and he praised on Cody at the Netflix premiere, I thought that was weird. A lot of people found criticism with that. And even here in this segment, it still came off a little weird. And The Rock, of course, he's the final boss. He's this evil heel character. He's on the board, all that. We saw him playing up the heel stuff last year. But since then, he's been very weird and off and on about it. Here, even in this segment, in one breath, he's thanking the fans for being here. He's talking about how great it is to be in New Orleans and how great of a show it is and how they all helped Moana 2 break $1 billion at the box office, and he's thanking the fans. And then in other moments, he's talking about how they're all STD ridden and syphilis having crackheads, all that, whatever he was talking about. And he was telling people to shut up. So he was kind of going in and out. That was also weird. And a lot of stammering, a lot of repeating himself. Clearly, this was not a promo that was scripted. Maybe there was, I don't know if there were crib notes on his wrist. John Cena wasn't there to point that out, so I don't know. Clearly, The Rock had some idea in mind of what he wanted to talk about with Cody. But at the end of this segment, Cody Rhodes was left in the ring looking stumped and confused, and a lot of people, myself included, had a very similar look. So then I proceeded to take the rest of SmackDown, because this did not end the show. It wasn't even in the middle of the show. It was like right at the top of the third hour. And there were like 2 more matches left. So I took those matches to start to think and reflect on what just happened, because Lord knows I wasn't paying attention to those matches. What was it? DIY and Pretty Deadly. And the main event, I couldn't bring myself to care much. So I was really focusing on this, scrolling through Twitter/X, of course, seeing other people's theories and cons and ideas and their reactions to that segment, which a lot of them didn't really like it. A lot of confused reactions coming out of it, and I see their point. So we're here to kind of go over, and I'm going to try to piece together what we just witnessed, what this could mean, what this is leading up to. So The Rock, like I said, he was just very all over the place with his wording and his delivery here. Not the best. But what I can ascertain from this promo here is The Rock basically wants Cody Rhodes to be his corporate champion, which is a very simple story to interpret, because it is a story that has been told for decades in this company. How many times in this company have we seen heelish, whether it's the general manager, whether it's the owner of the company, character at the time, whoever it could be. They want the top babyface champion to be their corporate champion. We saw this with Stone Cold and Vince McMahon coming out of WrestleMania 14. Vince wanted Stone Cold to be his corporate champion, and of course Stone Cold refused. Mick Foley, as Dude Love, stepped up to challenge Stone Cold, representing himself as Vince McMahon's handpicked champion. The Rock himself was a corporate champion. In fact, Corporate Rock at one point in time was one of the best versions of The Rock, even to this day. Is one of his best characters. So we've seen that with him. We've seen it with Triple H. We saw it with The Authority. When Seth Rollins turned on the Shield and joined The Authority, he became the new corporate person. Randy Orton, when the Authority first started, he was the hand-picked corporate champion. We've seen Triple H make a similar proposition to Roman Reigns at one point in 2015. I believe it was after Seth had gone down with an injury heading into Survivor Series that year. We had a segment kind of like this, where Triple H was making a proposition to Roman Reigns to be his man and to be his corporate champion. We've seen this in WWE. We've seen this in other promotions. This has been a song and dance told over and over again with different beats and different characters over time. But essentially, to me, the main point here is that The Rock, as the final boss, as a board member of TKO, as the owner of WWE, as one of the owners of WWE, as this most powerful force in WWE, he wants Cody to be his corporate champion, whom he can mold and he can prop up and he can present the way that he wants to. He talked about bringing him to a higher level and building him up and making all of his and his family's dreams come true. That's exactly the kind of thing you would expect from the heel authority figure to talk about the top babyface, wanting them to be their top guy. Which leads us to, what will Cody's answer be? We didn't get the answer here. The Rock said he wanted Cody to think about it, think it over, talk to his family, and come back next week at Elimination Chamber to give him an answer. So what will that answer be? To me, and we can go through a couple of ideas here, this is essentially teasing a potential Cody Rhodes heel turn, which heel Cody Rhodes, Homelander Cody Rhodes, all this stuff, people have been wanting this side of Cody Rhodes for a very long time. This goes all the way back to his AEW days. People have wanted this heel Cody Rhodes for a very long time. So this, in a way, is teasing that. Will Cody accept The Rock's deal? Will he give The Rock his soul? That's basically what he asked for. The Rock is the devil, apparently, and he is asking Cody for his soul. Will Cody sell his soul to The Rock? And I think many intelligent people will tell you, probably no. Although the option's there. And I'll get into why that is in a little bit. But I think the answer will be no. I think they're going to go out there at Elimination Chamber. They're going to both respectively get their own big entrances, and they're probably going to talk a lot. And ultimately what it's going to come down to is Cody once again telling The Rock no. Well, not once again, since he didn't really give him an answer here, but he'll tell The Rock no. But what if he does say yes? Or even if he doesn't say yes in the segment, what if leading up to WrestleMania, perhaps, he does say yes? Because this really throws a wrench into WrestleMania plans, because with Jey Uso winning the Rumble and choosing to challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, we all know that the winner of the men's Elimination Chamber match will face Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. So, with this interaction between Cody Rhodes and The Rock here, one would surmise that this is teasing a potential matchup between Cody Rhodes and The Rock. Now, one of Rock's talking points in that little post-show conference when he was breaking kayfabe is talking about how a certain genius to this segment and this angle is that you have these two very popular characters and two big personalities who are conducting the story and are telling the story and are doing so without the need to wrestle or face each other or have it result in a match. I don't know if he was just talking about this particular night or if he's teasing the fact that whatever this story is, its ultimate payoff will not result in a match between Cody Rhodes and The Rock, which goes completely against all common logic in pro wrestling. You would think that something like this will lead to some type of match between the two of them. Is it possible it won't? Sure. But I do think this could lead to a match. In fact, I have my own theory on where this could possibly go. As confusing and as weird as the promo on this particular show was, like I said, I think the ultimate gist of it, when the crux of it is that The Rock wants Cody to go corporate. And I think the reason for that is not that hard to find, because in his promo, The Rock talked about last year. He talked about the fact that he had this whole thing planned out where he was going to go to WrestleMania and face Roman, and he told Triple H and he told Nick Khan, put Cody to the side, not his time, I want this. And Cody stepped up and said no. And he both metaphorically and physically slapped Rock in the face, told him to move aside, and he took his spot back and he finished his story. To me, you can explain this friendship that has built up between these two and The Rock becoming buddy-buddy with Cody as a whole long-term plan for The Rock to basically manipulate Cody. The Rock, he mentioned how slapping him in the face and doing all that stuff that he did, he doesn't let that slide. For anyone else, would not let something like that slide. But for Cody, Cody's different. Cody's special. Clearly, The Rock is very much hung up and bitter on what happened last year. I believe that is a feeling that he has. He is still it just sticks in his craw that Cody Rhodes got the better of him last year. Even though Rock pinned Cody at WrestleMania, Cody still was able to walk out of WrestleMania as the champion. With all of Rock's power and all of his big authority last year, it was not enough to keep Cody Rhodes from winning the championship, and that just does not sit right with him. So, a plan that he has now has been to spend the course of the year becoming friends with them, forming this bond with him to the point now where he can try to manipulate him and turn him against the people and become corporate and become a sellout and become basically his lapdog. That's kind of a way that I'm interpreting this. Come Elimination Chamber, maybe Cody can realize this. I don't know if he'll outright say all of that stuff, but maybe Cody can just be smart enough to know that this is not his path, and he's going to tell The Rock no. Now, what happens there, I don't know. What I can come to the idea of is maybe The Rock does not take too kindly to being told no. After already being pushed aside by Cody last year in the events leading up to WrestleMania, now The Rock is here presenting Cody with this generous offer, and Cody tells him no. You don't tell the final boss no. And so The Rock is on the SmackDown show asking Cody for his soul, and now after Elimination Chamber, when Cody tells The Rock no, The Rock can turn around and say he's no longer asking for Cody's soul, he's going to take it. And the way to take it is by taking the WWE Championship away from him one way or another. And one way that could possibly happen could involve the Elimination Chamber match. A match that includes John Cena. The same John Cena who had an appearance on this particular episode of SmackDown. Of course, they were hyping up the chamber match, the men's chamber match, going through all the different people in there, how they qualified, how they made their way into the match. But it was not long after this whole Rock segment, they aired a flashback of a previous Elimination Chamber match all the way back in 2010. It was a chamber match that was for the WWE Championship, which ended in John Cena winning, tapping out Triple H to become the new WWE Champion. Once the chamber match was over, Batista came out. He was cashing in on a favor to Vince McMahon at the time. It was a whole story. Basically, Batista came out, crashed the party, crashed Cena's moment. We had an impromptu match. Batista beat down an already tired, worn out John Cena and beat him for the WWE Championship. Obviously, we've seen something similar with John Cena, winning a chamber match, got cashed in on by Edge in the post-match. So Cena has suffered this before. But they showed that specific chamber moment on this show. It's not like they were going through a whole bunch of highlights of previous chamber matches. And I know that one was just specifically to show, Cena's history in the Elimination Chamber. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall them showing when he won the Chamber match in 2006 where Edge cashed in on him. And I was thinking, well, they probably showed this because this was the last time John Cena won an Elimination Chamber match and showing that, hey, well, he has a chance to win one last one. But no, the last time John Cena won an Elimination Chamber match was in 2011. So it probably would have made sense to show that one if that was the story they were telling. I could be looking too much into this, but hey, that's what we're here for. We're here to speculate. I'm here to speculate. I'm here to throw some ideas out here. What if they showed that and it wasn't by accident? What if it was a subtle tease at something that could take place at Elimination Chamber next weekend? What if after Cody tells The Rock no, The Rock vows to take Cody's soul and his championship? He did say that it's not about the title, but maybe after what happened last year and after Cody tells The Rock no here to his face after this offer, The Rock makes it about the championship. And we get to the Elimination Chamber. You got Cena, you got Punk, you got Damian Priest, you got Logan Paul, you got CM Punk, you got Drew McIntyre. What if, in the end, whoever comes down to, John Cena is victorious? John Cena, the man who, in his last year, is trying to go after title number 17. He wants to main event WrestleMania and win championship number 17 because it's best for business, and he's all in on this. So he fails at the Rumble, he gets in the Chamber, he outlasts all 5 other guys, and he walks out victorious only for after the match, The Rock appears. And using his TKO board power, he makes an impromptu match right then and there. Or maybe he inserts himself into the Chamber match itself. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe post-match. After the Chamber match is over, Cena won the Chamber. We get The Rock. He makes an impromptu right there match on the start. He beats John Cena, and he steals his WrestleMania spot. His WrestleMania hopes and dreams are dashed. They're crushed. And The Rock is the one to win. And The Rock gets to face Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, a plan that many people were expecting to happen at WrestleMania this year for many, many months, until it became pretty clear and evident that The Rock was not really going to have much of a role at WrestleMania. Now all of this is changing things. So that idea popped up only because they showed that moment with John Cena at the 2010 Elimination Chamber. And I was just thinking, that was a very random moment to show. So looking at that and looking at how they handled John Cena on that particular night, I was thinking, what if that wasn't just them showing previous highlights of previous Chamber matches with John Cena? What if it was foreshadowing for something that could happen to John Cena again this year, where he wins the Chamber, you think he has it locked in, you think he's ultimately victorious, but then someone swoops in after the match, steals his moment, steals his win. It's possible. What if The Rock asks Cody to be his corporate champion, to be his champion? Cody says no. What if someone else says yes? What if that someone else is John Cena? Could we see a John Cena heel turn? I say no. We haven't gotten one up to this point. Highly doubt we're going to get one. What about CM Punk? What if CM Punk walks out the victor? What if CM Punk, so desperate to get a WrestleMania main event, that he would be willing to sell his soul to the devil, sell his soul to the final boss, and he turns heel and he faces Cody as a heel with the endorsement of The Rock and goes into WrestleMania to challenge Cody for the championship? That'd be a bold move. I can't really see the motivation for Cena or Punk or really anybody in this match to do something like that, except for one person. And that one person is Drew McIntyre. Now, Drew McIntyre has no love lost for the Bloodline. We've seen him go up against everybody from the Bloodline. But one person who he has not really had much negative interactions with is The Rock. and their interactions have been quite subtle. When Drew McIntyre re-signed his brand new fat contract last year, it was The Rock who delivered the contract to him. On that very same Netflix debut earlier this year, where backstage Rock and Cody were sharing their alcohol and chatting it up, we also had footage that The Rock was backstage with Drew McIntyre at one point. Many, many months ago, after Hell in a Cell with CM Punk at Bad Blood, Drew McIntyre disappeared from television. He came back after a few months and he cut promos talking about how he went away, he went home, he was feeling down, he was hurt, he reconnected with his family, all this stuff. And he was talking about how no one checked on him, no one checked in on him on the roster, no one looked out after him, no one checked in on him except for one person. And he never revealed who that one person was. That was just kind of left dangling. That's a loose thread that has yet to be tied up. What if it's revealed that the one person who looked in on him and checked in on him was The Rock? And now all these subtle little interactions between the two of them leads to a situation where Cody denies The Rock. Rock is going to get a champion of his own one way or another. And while we're all expecting The Rock to insert himself into the chamber or insert himself into this situation and he wins, he goes to WrestleMania to face Cody, we're expecting no Rock involvement whatsoever. And it's Cody or it's Punk, somebody like that. And it's not. It's none of those stuff. It's Drew McIntyre, who wins the chamber for the second year in a row, challenges Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship with the full endorsement of the final boss backing him. That would make sense, and it would kind of go along with what Rock was talking about in the post-show scrum, talking about how this stuff with him and Cody doesn't necessarily have to lead to a match. It doesn't really. What if it's a situation where The Rock is in Drew McIntyre's corner? And if you were to ask, well, why would The Rock be in Drew McIntyre's corner? Why would Drew McIntyre want or need The Rock's help? I just laid out all the interactions between the two of them. The contract, backstage, checking up on him potentially. There's some connection, some bond between Drew McIntyre and The Rock that could be explored in that regard. Plus, Drew is already a heel, so instead of pulling a big swerve and turning John Cena or turning CM Punk, one of which I don't expect to ever turn heel, and in the other case, I don't expect to turn heel this soon, and this out of nowhere. So what if it ends up being Drew McIntyre who is the ultimate choice for The Rock if Cody denies him? Or what if, like I said before, what if Cody, maybe he leaves it a little open-ended, maybe it looks like it's a no, but then either at the end of the night Elimination Chamber or somewhere leading up to WrestleMania or even on WrestleMania night, Cody Rhodes in the main event against John Cena or against CM Punk or against whoever wins the chamber match. And there we get the big swerve a la Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 17, where that is where Cody sells his soul. He cheats to win, he gets The Rock's help, and he becomes The Rock's new corporate champion. And we do get heel Cody Rhodes. We do get Homelander Cody Rhodes. That could be an interesting direction too. All these ideas right off the dome. Some of it, kind of seeing it through Twitter and seeing it through people's reactions. Some of it just kind of my stuff that I was thinking about before recording this, thinking about as I'm recording this. So a lot of very interesting directions to go in. The segment itself on SmackDown, while not the greatest, it does open up the door to a lot of interesting directions that this could go in. And this does bring a little bit more interest in WrestleMania season. A season that people, by and large, a lot of people have been very down on. You've seen a lot of this stuff on social media about people complaining and not being all that interested in WrestleMania season for whatever reason. So, The Rock coming in could be a big shot in the arm. Was this all planned out from the beginning? Doesn't seem like it. It's possible it was, but according to certain news outlets, PW Insider and whatnot, they're under the impression that this was something that just kind of came up. So maybe they were heading in a direction for WrestleMania, and now with a lot of the fan feedback going on for the last couple of weeks, maybe they're changing course a little bit to add a little spark to WrestleMania season that it was missing, which in many ways was The Rock, because this time a year ago, The Rock came back and all this big shitstorm started, and that added a whole big level of excitement heading into WrestleMania season. So now, fast forward a year later, The Rock is back. And just like that, with this very controversial promo here, and very mixed reaction of a promo, it's adding a little bit more excitement. Hell, I just spit out a few different theories and ideas of what could take place at Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania itself. So we'll see what happens. Next time I'm going to talk to you guys will be Elimination Chamber. So we'll see what happens in this little face-to-face with Rock and Cody. We'll see what happens in that men's chamber match. And we'll see what continues to happen on the road to WrestleMania 41. So until next time, check you guys later.